they've obviously shortlisted coaches now for that job. And I expect over the next 24 hours we'll find out who's on that shortlist. I mean, Josh Hannay, Jason Riles, Trent Barrett will be on the list. I imagine Michael Maguire will be on the list for the Parramtta job. Have you got an early favourite? Who do you like?
My feeling is, considering they went for somebody like Wayne Bennett, my feeling is somebody like, now that he's off the table, that someone like Madge Maguire is something, is the kind of coach that they are probably looking for, because there's a reason why you target someone like Wayne Bennett, right? Like, you're looking for experience. So, you know, guys like Jason Riles and Josh Hannay have spoken about sort of the next, you know, best up-and-coming head coaches, but they don't necessarily have experience in that head coach role. You do take on a difficult roster for a number of reasons. Like, it's an experienced roster, so you've only got a limited amount of time to actually get success. There's a lot of big personalities in that roster. You need somebody who's going to be able to manage egos, and you need somebody who's going to be able to manage the next crop of guys coming in. Plus, I don't think there's a more high-pressure job in the NRL than being the head coach of the Parramatta Eels. Like, you need somebody who's going to be able to deal with that constant, that it's that relentless expectation, that pressure that never goes away.
Is
not good
failure.
enough.
Yeah.
So, and I think something like Madge might be suited to that.
I reckon it's a Hannay-Riles shootout.
You think?
Yeah. I like that too.
I don't think they'll go with Madge, just because maybe there's a perception he's very much like Brad, in terms of the type of coach he is. Just, I don't know. Just stern.
Too stern? Were you saying that Brad was too stern?
Look, maybe a bit more old school than what Rolsey and Josh Hannay are. They're more of the modern coach, right? They're young. They haven't been burnt by the system yet a little bit, like
not jaded yet.
Not jaded, right? And I'm not saying, I imagine do a great job there, I think, but I just get the feeling they're going to look at a fresher coach, and they're the two guys who are knocking on the door for me. I mean, they're the two. You know, Rolsey's had an apprenticeship. He's been at the Melbourne Roosters. He was an assistant to Eddie Jones with England Rugby. He's back at Melbourne now. Josh has been with, obviously, Cronulla. He's had a little interim stint from memory before at where was that at? Was that the Cows? No, Cronulla. Was it Cronulla? Yeah, interim stint at Cronulla. He's been on Billy's staff with Queensland. You know, they would seem two guys who have done everything they need to do.
They've put in all the work,
Yeah.
It would seem, I reckon Riles as well, he has a very similar kind of a resume, or similar as Brad when he was first appointed to Parrot as well, and they kind of took a chance on him. And
there's this whole perception there aren't coaches out there, and you've got to go back to guys who've, you know, the guys like Madge who've been there before. But I don't agree with that. At some point, you've got to, you know, guys like Rolsey and Josh have been working their butt off to get an opportunity. At some point, you've got to give these guys a go. And I understand Parra's a big club, right? And they've gone almost 40 years without winning a comp. It's a lot of pressure, but it's a good squad. Like, we saw the other night. That's still a really good squad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's a squad that's a little bit of tinkering, not a lot of tinkering, just a little bit of. It's not like taking over the Dragons. When, you know, had to overhaul that squad. Yeah. This squad just needs a couple of ins and outs.
A couple of ins and outs, but I don't think they've got that many players signed for 2026.
A lot of player options, I think.
Yeah, but as in, there is, whoever comes in, I mean, there is room for that sort of overhaul. Barrett, is he? Well,
he'll get an interview, I'd imagine, because he's the interim. But I mean, again, Trent's had a couple of jobs, Manly, Canterbury. He's been in the system the last year or so when they've struggled a bit.
Having said that,
but they looked good the other night.
They did look good the other night, and he's, you know, you can't question his footy brain and his footy smarts. Good attacking coach. Defensive, they probably need some help defensively. You know, if they can put a good defensive coach near Barrett, then maybe that changes things. But and I know he had a really bad win record at Canterbury, but I don't know who could have done any better at Canterbury at that point in time.
Yeah.